This is the Jamboard practice assignment for 2-5 on compound inequalities. For number 1, which is number 9 on your homework, it's an and inequality, so our goal is to isolate x in the middle. Remember, we have 3 sides of the inequality. So right now, to isolate x in the middle, we're adding 5. So to isolate, we would subtract 5 from all 3 sides. So on the left side, we have -8. And on the right side, we have -3. So now our number line, we want to include values from -8 to -3. And how we read this inequality is we start in the middle and work our way out. So x is greater than -8 and less than -3. Okay, so both values at -3 and -8, those aren't included in the possible solutions. So we want them to be open at -8 and at -3. For x is less than -3, we would have shaded to the left. And x is greater than -8, we would have shaded to the right. So the shading is all values in between -8 and 3, where those shadings would overlap. For number 2, our goal is to still isolate x in the middle. So right now we want to deal with that 4. In order to remove the 4 from the middle, it's positive, so we want to subtract it from all 3 sides. After we subtract 4, we have -6, -3x in the middle, and 16 on the right. 12 on the right. So now our last step would be to divide all parts by -3. Now it's dividing by -3 that requires us to flip the inequality symbol. So what once was less than or equal to is now going to be greater than or equal to. This next one is also flipped. Okay, so we can keep this expressed like this, or we can also write it so that the smaller values on the left, that way the inequality symbols are both facing the same direction. So we would read this inequality: x is greater than or equal to -4 and less than or equal to 2. I'm going to increase by 2 so that I can fit my numbers all on my number line. Both -4 and 2 are included, so it's going to be a filled in circle. And we want to shade in between because it's an and inequality. So it's all values that are included in the shading. So -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2 that are considered as possible solutions to this compound inequality. So number 3 is an or inequality, and we solve that separately. First we solve x plus 2 is less than or equal to 5, and then we'll solve x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 2. They're or inequalities, so we'll graph them on the same number line and then shade in the tails to show possible solutions. So let's solve one first. We're going to subtract 2 because we're adding 2. We get x is less than or equal to 3. And the other inequality, we're subtracting 4. So to solve, we want to add 4. So now this is an or inequality, so make sure we write the word or as part of the solution. Okay, so we want to fill in our number line. Try to have an extra value on each side so that the solution actually shows possible solutions. I mean, the shading shows possible solutions. So now it's closed at 3 because 3 is included. And it's less than or equal to 3, so we shade to the left. Or x can be greater than or equal to 6. So again, closed at 6, shaded to the right. So or inequalities are always going to be shaded in the tails. Think or like oars on a boat. And this last one, we want to just model this as an inequality, and there's going to be no solving. So you want to keep at least $10 in your wallet at all times, but no more than 50. That means we want between 10 and 50, including 10 and 50. So when you can rephrase it so you use the word between, that's classic for an and inequality. So for at least 10, that would be x is greater than or equal to 10. And for no more than $50, we would say x has to be less than or equal to 50. So now we want to combine these as an and inequality. You could just stop right here and use the word and. Okay, but I think we're prepared to model it as a compact compound inequality. So to do so, write the smaller value on the left, the larger value on the right, put x in the middle, and now copy the inequality symbol. So I always start with the right side. X is less than or equal to 50. That's easy to fill in. And then the other inequality, we're going to follow the same direction because it's greater than or equal to 10. And there's the compact to compound inequality to represent how much money we want in our wallet at all times. So again, this was the Jamboard practice assignment for 2-5 on solving compound inequalities.